when we had a chance to get in, we found out that we had lost just about everything. The big issue is coping with the situation. Well, one day you got it, another day you don't have it. Now, how do we cope with this situation?
Well, first of all, you've got to recover. And as part of that process, you need to plan so that disasters in the future have less of an adverse impact. That's basically known as hazard mitigation. Let's not only get folks out of harm's way, but let's make sure in the future when we build houses, when we put commercial locations, that we keep those out of harm's way as well.
We just really need to be thinking about where we are developing and how we are developing, because natural disasters are going to happen. And I think that because we can get on a bulldozer and we can move earth and we can do things like that, we have a tendency to think sometimes that we are in control. And the fact is that there's not anything we can do to prevent natural disasters.
After Hurricane Fran, Kinston participated in a FEMA hazard mitigation program that offered significant funding for a buyout of homes in the flood zone. Residents were offered the market value of the equity in their homes to enable them to relocate out of the floodplain. Only 25% of potential applicants signed up for that first buyout. But the experience changed people's attitudes and served as a primer for the big event to come.
The time to plan is not after disaster. The time to plan is before the disaster. The city did a very good job of planning for redevelopment after Hurricane Fran. And as a result, they took great advantage of Hurricane Floyd. So they had a plan in place. They had a vision in place. They'd already made some conscious decisions about the direction that their community was going to go in if they had another flood disaster, and they did.
I think we had already in our minds, everybody's mind, the politicians' minds, our disaster response people's minds, that yes, relocation is a very effective means of mitigation, and we're going to do everything we can to make it work 100% this time. We got over 95% participation in Hurricane Floyd.
With the help of Habitat for Humanity, a cluster of new homes was built from scratch. Another subdivision began with 20 donated mobile homes, all purchased by first-time homeowners. Then, as homes and businesses moved out of the floodplain, questions arose about new potential uses for the land.
We were able to help them with putting together the first green infrastructure plan that actually looked at how could they basically make lemonade out of the lemons that Hurricane Floyd had handed them. How could they take the areas along the river and turn them into greenways or bike paths? How could they create some economic development opportunities?
An urban forest would be great, an educational forest that emphasizes the value of a floodplain as far as environmental sensitivity, that it acts like a sponge for the river, a cleansing mechanism. There's just a lot of benefits to the floodplain that go unnoticed after it's developed. And we have an opportunity here to take one of those areas and put it back the way it was before development occurs.
Smart growth initiatives encourage debate about which kind of protective measures will work best for each community. In popular coastal towns, where growth and development are key issues, a different set of hazard mitigation strategies might be employed.
On the one hand, there's a need for residential development in our older cities and in our downtown areas to help revitalize and balance the commercial development. But on the other hand, we have a responsibility to make sure that the folks who move into those areas are protected. So right now, we're really going through a balancing act.
The town of Jupiter in Palm Beach County, Florida, lies squarely in the path of seasonal storms and hurricanes, but it's still been attracting record numbers of people over the last 2 decades.
Why do they want to be here? I think it's evident. It's gorgeous. Everybody likes the water. They want to be near it. Of course, wanting to be near the water can be somewhat dangerous, particularly in a hurricane event, which quite often happens here in Florida. So we do have to take special precautions.
Jupiter has already taken one crucial step toward hazard mitigation by building an emergency operations center that has been hardened to withstand a Category 4 storm and winds up to 154 miles per hour.
We needed a safe, hardened structure where key personnel who worked during the storm could feel safe and perform their duties without the threat of structure failure or anything such as that. Also, immediately after the storm, we have to have all of our resources readily available.
Through a FEMA hazard mitigation grant, Jupiter was able to fund its facility to provide shelter, food, water, and independent communications capabilities for 24 emergency responders.
The better prepared we are, the more resources we have available to allow us to do our job. I think it just benefits immensely to the community as it grows.
And grows and grows. Palm Beach County's current population of 1 million is expected to swell by another 350,000 by the year 2020, making it one of the fastest growing areas in the nation. But during the 1990s, with the majority of growth sprawled into the suburbs, the urban waterfront city of West Palm